Okay, so Sahil, let's start with the JavaScript.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
so what are the higher order functions?
So basically, higher order functions which take a function as an input and return the function itself. I think means function they take function as a parameter.
Okay,
Same
okay, can you give me an example of higher order function?
example means we can pass any function to that function as a parameter. Example.
Okay,
Mhm.
what is global execution?
Global execution, for example, once a JavaScript program is uh, runs, one global like all the definitions of variables let const comes at the top. So one global execution context is created for that. So so
Okay, and what is lexical scoping?
lexical scope means sometimes uh, one very undefined is assigned to where or let. For example, we can access access one variable before its initialization, because that where and const goes to the lexical scope.
Okay, okay, in hoisting, can we hoist latent cost?
Hosting is different in case of let and const. In the case of where we got the undefined, but in let and const we are not getting uh, undefined case. Like the I think for let and const hosting is different. But we can hosting is there, but hosting is different in let and const.
Okay, uh, can you go to the chat?
Okay.
So can you explain how it will execute? And
First, third, and second. This will be the output.
okay, but how and why?
Set time out function is execute I think set time out function is work as a promise, so it will run after all the code flows.
Okay, let's say if we don't have any delay.
Then also it will run at last only, first, third, and second will be the output.
But what is the mechanism why it is executing like this?
I'm not sure about it, but
Okay, okay. Let's move to the problem solving. Okay.
okay.
So what you have to do is, so this is the array,
Okay.
and what you have to do is you have to find the repetition of elements or the occurrence of elements. For example,
Okay, you mean 4 is 2 times and 7 is 2 times. I need to find this, right?
Yes, if element is coming once, so we have to print also this thing. So
Okay.
output would be something like this. Uh, Ignore the previous one. So value would be 8 and count would be 2, something like this.
Okay, okay. Means 4 will be the key and its value will be 2. 5.
Yes,
Okay, okay. Key value pair you mean. Object, as object you want.
yes. For example, if 9 is coming once,
Hmm.
so value would be 9 and count would be 1, something like this.
Okay, okay. So do you want
And
to share screen or
yes,
JS or JS query? Hello. So can I use like inbuilt function is there I think for counting. So
mm, yeah, you can use.
inbuilt function where it's there na inbuilt function is there na for counting this.
You can use anything. So
Okay. So this is the output I think.
Okay.
It is not getting the value of this. Let me.
So this is the count, right?
Yes, four is coming two times. 5 is coming one time, 6 is coming one time, 7 is coming two times, and then 8 is coming one time, and 9 is coming one time. I need to check for this one. It is not taking the value of current.
Okay. Mm. Okay. Now what you have to do is
Mm-hmm.
the array would be same,
Mm-hmm.
but in that case, what you have to do is you have to create an array in which if element is coming twice, so we have to create a pair. Like if
Mm-hmm.
8 is coming twice, so there would be one array in which we have 8 and 8.
Okay.
Another one is 6 or something like this.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it. Okay. See, 4 is pair, 5 6 7 7 is pair, 8 9.
Okay. Okay, fine. Okay, let's move to the reactjs. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Can I stop sharing?
Yes.
Thanks.
So what are the major differences between class and functional component?
Basically, a function component are known as like a stateless component without the introduction of hooks because there were no state associated with them. Apart from this, if we talk about like utilization, if you think like once we compile the React program, uh, compiler converts the class-based component into function-based component first, then it will run. So that is the major difference. Apart from this, for class component there are lifecycle methods, but in function-based component there is no lifecycle methods. We can achieve lifecycle method only with the hooks. Like these are the major difference.
Okay. What are a pure component?
Pure components.
Yes.
Uh, Pure components means like uh, I think the output. The for the same input output will remain same for the pure components, like it is used to increase the optimization of our react application.
Yes. So the definition you explained is related to the pure function,
Hmm. So
but a pure component is something else.
I think in pure components it will check the additional checks, like we are not declaring any variable before initialization, proper like semicolon approaches follow, code approaches follow. These type of things in are checking in pure component.
Mm, no, this is not.
Okay, I think I'm not sure about it.
Okay, if we have to stop rendering component
Mm-hmm.
multiple times,
Okay.
so what we can do in functional component?
Uh, we can use memo hook.
Okay,
So it will prevent the re-rendering of a child component. We can set a state inside that. Only it will memorize a value. Only if that value is changed, it will prevent to load the heavy function.
okay. Any other approach we can use?
One more hook is there, like use memo is reminds the memorized value, but there is one more thing I'm not getting its name. That is used for memorize function. I think that is used. I don't know. I don't remember the exact name of that hook, but there is one more hook. Like the use memo and that hook is same almost. Use memo memorize that function value, but that hook memorize the function only. That this function is not calling again and again.
Okay, no worries. What is the difference between yarn and npm?
Yarn and npm. Uh,
Yes.
Basically, both are used to install the external packages like npm I we can basically I used an npm only, so I never used yarn for this. Basically both are used for install the external libraries and things.
Okay, but why yarn is more popular? And
No, I don't know.
okay, if we have to unmount the component in functional component,
Mm-hmm.
what do we use?
With the help of use effect we can unmount a component. We can add a return statement in use effect, so the component will unmount. Like this is used for cleanup activities.
Okay, so have you used Redux?
Basically, um, uh, my application was not that much complex. Like my two project recently I was working. So
Okay,
that global state management was achieved by only using context. Like we store all the values in a use one provider, and we can consume in all over the application with the help of
so
context.
okay,
Use
so
context.
you have used context API.
Right, right.
Okay, so what is the benefit of context API?
Basically, for like for non-complex application, context is easy to understand. Like it's not that much complex. If we talk about Redux is a little bit complex. Context is simple. We need to create one provider and whole application as a consumer, and we can simple get that value from that component. So is it easy to use?
Okay, for example, we have uh, three or four component
Mm-hmm.
A, B, C, D. Okay,
Okay.
if I have to pass the data from A to D,
A to D. Okay.
yes. So how? would we do that in context API?
For example, if we have a data in A, so we have made one component as a like provider. So first we have to pass that value to that store provider, if I say.
Okay.
Then from that provider component, we can directly access from E component. That provider we can directly access from E component. So there is no need to go to A to B and B to C.
Okay.
We can create a context for a provider component, and we can use the context and E component.
Okay. So apart from that, how do you manage the code management? I mean, where do you
Uh,
store your?
Earlier we were using GitHub, and nowadays we are using Bitbucket as well. So I have hands-on on like GitHub and Bitbucket.
Okay.
Mhm.
So what is the process you use in your organization?
So basically, once the story is assigned to me, like story is coming on Jira, and
Hmm.
particular story to assign to every developer, right? So
Yeah.
we usually create one branch separate, like there is one main branch, and we usually create one separate branch with the name of that story, and we usually do the coding and push our code in that branch. So one senior developer will merge this into a main branch after code review. Like code reviews are done by a senior architect, and after that, it will be
Okay.
merged, right?
Okay. For example,
Mm-hmm.
you are working on a branch. Okay,
Okay.
and you have made a lot of commits,
Mm-hmm.
and there is another branch
Mm-hmm.
in which we have to push a specific commit
Okay.
from that working branch to development branch.
Mm-hmm.
So what command we will use
For
to do
specific
that?
commit, there is one commit ID, right? So
Yes.
from that commit ID, there is one command, git cherry pick, I think. With the help of git cherry pick, we can do that.
Okay. And what is a rebasing?
For example, there is a develop branch, right?
Mhm.
And I created one branch and you created one branch. We both raised a PR for that, right? And
Okay.
I mean to say, your PR has been merged and mine is not merged. Then I have to rebase the develop branch again, so that that merge code come into my code. So we need to
Okay.
rebase at that time.
So the project in which you are working on is handled by individually or
No,
by team?
basically we are like two members from front end side and two from back end side, and one is a
Okay.
deployment expert. So we are a team of five members.
Okay. So have you write any test cases in React.js?
Basically, for unit test cases, we usually check there is a like Chrome extension is there, React component. So we usually test there only, not writing in unit testing in Jest.
Okay. Okay. For authorization, what you have used in React?
In React, basically this I already told you, like we are using AWS for deployment purpose. So there is a service of AWS named as a Cognito service. Have you heard, like you heard about it? So Cognito service only manage all the authentication part. So
Okay.
we usually simply pass the login and password to that service, and it will create a token, and that
Okay.
token we can use in our application. Like it provides us a JWT token, that service.
Okay, okay, fine. Okay, let's say you have two front end framework or library.
Hmm.
One is React and one is Angular.
Okay.
So, which one would you prefer to work on?
Basically, I never worked on Angular, but I hear like React is more compatible than Angular. Like in React, React code is like similar to a JavaScript code, uh, so it's easy to understand as well. Also, it makes our application a single page application. So I would go with the React only.
Okay. So, have you used TypeScript?
We prefer like JavaScript only.
Okay, okay. So, apart from the React, so do you have any hand-on experience of CSS like SAS or something?
We usually use plain CSS. Apart from this, in our application, we are using Material UI.
Okay.
So there is like less use of CSS because Material UI have a lot of inbuilt
Yeah.
components are there.
Yes. Yes.
So we use Material UI for that.
Okay. And if we have to improve the performance of reactjs application,
Okay.
so what approaches
So
do
first
we
thing,
have?
we should like, for example, one component is using many times in our application, and we should write that component in a separate code. Uh, Apart from this, we should use for heavy loaded function. We should use memo. We should use pure components as well. In our current company, we are using this approach. For example, there are few child one application is there. There are five child components we are using. That child components we are using as a npm package. Like we can install that child component as a separate npm package. We can create a build for the that component, and we can copy that build into a parent node modules. So in there is a one parent app. All the child component is a separate npm library.
And and what about the reusable things?
Yes, like I already like told you like thing. If the component is reusable, we should use the uh, we should create a separate component of that. We can create a common folder, and we can put all the reusable component into that folder.
So that would be like a service or something, right?
Hmm?
S- uh, for that, what do you use? So we have a service term for that. So everything which is reusable, we can put it
Right. We
there.
can use like in my last to last application, we were using a mobex as well, mobex state tree, mst,
Okay.
movable state management. I worked on that project only like 2 months, so but I have little bit knowledge of mst as well, mobex state tree. So in that
Okay.
there is model service and all the things are there.
Okay. Okay, Sahil, that's all from my side.
Okay.
Anything else you want to ask?
No, no, Ravi. Like, if you have like feedback in what area I can improve myself, so. I think it will be great. Like it will be helpful for me.
So if I talk about the React.js, so there is nothing to say. But yeah, in JavaScript, you have to work on some basic things,
Mm-hmm.
because when someone starts the interview, so it starts with JavaScript first. So
Right, right.
rest of the thing, HR will get back to you
Okay, okay, okay
for
then.
that.